Hey guys, Brofist, bam! What's up? My running kid here, back again. Uh, More review, guys. As always, here to talk about the books that came out for the month of November 11th. Yeah, right? Yeah, 11th. Gotta once again, as always, I come prepared. Uh, and hope you guys enjoy. Unfortunately, guys, no DC this week. No DC at all, just Marvel and tons of indie. Like I said, still playing catch up with a lot of DC books. Like I said, the DC books that I'm not playing catch up on are books like He-Man, Flash, a few other books. But other than that, every other DC book that I read, still playing catch up on. So it's gonna take some time. So, but as always, if you do, guys, as always, thanks for stopping by. And it's good to see me boy, Mr. J, back into the swing of things. You know, he took a little hiatus from his reviews. He came back pretty good, as always. Much love and respect to me bro, Blue Goblin, for shouting me out on Twitter. Pretty much he basically said that my opinion on last week's Amazing Spider-Man number 3, or if you're keeping real score, 721, I was right on the money. Okay. Just being honest. But, let's get on to the book, shall we? And, unfortunately, guys, notice, as always with the Marvel books, you know, I put them on my Tumblr account. I'm starting to put more stuff on my Tumblr, and try that for a while and see, you know, just give out the codes for free, you know, by action and stuff like that. See how my code mongers on Tumblr handle it. So let's start off with Marvel. And we're going to kick it off with all new Hawkeye number 1. This really shouldn't be number 1. But Jeff Lemire Perez do the artwork. Not George Perez. But Jeff Lemire still continues to write the Earth's Greatest Marksman. This was interesting because the first time when they announced it, it made it seem like this was going to be Old Man Hawkeye from, you know, from the Old Man Logan. When you remember, he died, and an older Kate. Like, I thought that's what the story was going to be, like a future setting. But the story kind of is in flux. It takes place present, and then it goes into a possible future. And basically, in this issue, guys, you can see that Kate and Clint are not on the same page anymore with each other. They seem to have had a falling out, and this is kind of a little bit that's happened in the previous series. But, you know, Clint starts wondering, you know, is it because I'm an Avenger again and you're not? And, you know, stuff like that has been banging over her, but Kate's being stubborn and saying, no, it's not. And, you know, it's just, you know, they got plans. They're like, okay, we're going to take out Hammerhead, you know, blah, blah, blah. Kate does it way before Clint gets there, and it's like, okay, what's going on? You know, and then we go into the future, and we see an older Clint who's kind of retired from the gang. Kate has continued being kind of Hawkeye, and the Mandarin is in this. I'm not going to spoil what the Mandarin's been doing, but Lemire has me interested because it makes me wonder, like, okay, how far are we going to see Kate, this fallout between Kate and Clint? But other than that, this is good. Not bad at all. You know, Jeff Lemire is Lemire is just doing his thing. That's the best. That's the best way I can describe it, guys. He's doing his thing, and it's working for him. All right. Let's move on to the next. And we are on to BAM! All new Wolverine #1. Classic cover. Tom Taylor. Lopez does the artwork. If there was anybody that I felt that should take over the legacy of Wolverine, James Logan Howlett, it's his surrogate daughter, aka clone, Lorna Kennedy. I'm like, you guys know I'm not the biggest Dawkins fan, and I was just like, no, he can't. I don't want him doing it. This was very interesting. It starts out in Paris, and Laura's there, and she's like trying to get somewhere, and she saves a man's life from a sniper, and it becomes a race up the Eiffel Tower to figure out who the shooter is. She has a little help from her beau, Angel, from, past Angel, and it's pretty much just a quick. It is pretty much, this was a really fast-paced issue of point A to point B to point C, but you get the gist of what's going on, and there's even a little bit of a like a flashback with Wolverine, and just Wolverine being that mentor to Laura. So Laura basically showing like, yeah, we were made to be the ultimate killing machines, but sometimes it's not killing that is the biggest, like struggle that we have. And, I like that. I thought that was a really good, and you can see they were during when they were still part of X-Force, but it was a really good, that was really cool. I like that very much. The funniest thing is, to me, was where Laura, she falls, and she pretty much, she's all hurt up, and she's got a dislocated shoulder, so she's pop her shoulder back in, pop. She's, she's all messed up, and she's still healing, and here come Angel, and she's like, don't touch me, like, just don't touch me, like, don't show me any kind of affection. Right now I'm still healing, like my body parts are still healing, and you got Warren goes like this on her head, like pats her, and she's like, are you patting me on the head? And he's like, yeah. And he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. She's like, I didn't say stop. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I'm not gonna ruin who the sniper was, who the assassin was. I'm not gonna ruin that, but it's interesting. It makes somewhat legitimate sense, and I'm really interested in seeing where Mr. Taylor goes with this. This was really good. I enjoyed this very much. All new Wolverine #1. All right, move on to finally, with all the Avenger titles, we didn't even get like the core Avenger title. All new, all different Avengers. #1. Here it is. Alex Ross cover. Fucking beautiful. Mark Waid. You all guys know me. I'm a Mark Waid guy. I'm a loyal Mark Waid loyalist. And I'll read anything that this guy writes. When I heard Mark Waid was taking over Earth's Mightiest Heroes, I was like, is there any question I'm gonna get this? This is Mark Magic Waid. I gave him that nickname, Mark Magic Waid, because whatever he does is magic. Kubert, them Kubert boys, them Kubert brothers, you gotta love their artwork. This was an interesting introductory to this new lineup of the Avengers. We get to see the beginning, Captain America, Sam Wilson saving a family from falling, a car from falling, and everybody wants to take a picture with him, and Girl Scouts like, oh, Captain America, can you buy our cookies? And he's like, oh, sure, I'll buy one. I'll use my last $5. And then all the other scouts come up, and then it becomes like which one he's gonna choose. He sees Tony Stark in the crowd, and he's like, yo, dude, can you spot me some money? He's like, I'm out. And this clearly also shows that, what Mark Waid has been saying, like this team of Avengers is really on a budget. Usually Tony funds the team, and he's kind of not there financially either. We get to see Miles, dealing with what's going on, who bought the Avengers Tower and everything like that. We also get to see... We don't get to see Thor, we don't get to see Vision, and we don't get to see... But we do get to see Kamala and her and Sam Alexander. The story seems to be the first villain that they're going to be dealing with is somebody from Sam's past that Sam has fought. It ended typical, in my opinion, like, the villain standing on top of, over the villain, the heroes, and, it's like, yeah. But they are really putting a lot of emphasis now on the Chitauri, because the main antagonist in this is a Chitauri. I'm like, wow, they're putting a lot of that. And then there's also another story that involves the first meeting between Sam and Kamala, which was cute, kind of cute, and you can kind of see that Sam has a crush on Kamala, and he's like, oh my God, like, she's steal my heart and things like that. Sam goes so far that he reveals his identity to her, and she's more like, "What? I didn't ask you to do that," and it's just like Sam's like, "Damn it!" That was fun. Waid does a good job with this introductory of this team. I'm looking forward to seeing more, and what's the chemistry going to be like between this team of 6, because you got to remember, majority of them are, or not 6, the 7. Yeah, 7. Most of them are rookies in a sense, but this was very good indeed. Spider-Gwen number 2, or what this would be, really number 8, I think. Latour and Rodriguez does the artwork. This was a lot more interesting because we got a little bit more of an introductory of the Earth 665 Captain America. The end of the last issue, we got to see Captain America, and we get to see in this that Captain America is not Steve Rogers, not Bucky Barnes, or any of the Bradleys, Eli or his grandfather, or his Isaiah Bradley. It's another female. It's a female, African American female, and her last name is Wilson, which is really cool. Gwen is still dealing with the threat of the Lizard in terms of Kurt Connors, and she's still on the trail of figuring out, like, is he the result of what happened to this Earth's Peter Parker? You also got, on the other side, Captain Stacy talking to Ben Parker in this. Ben Parker is alive in this world, and telling that he's not going to stop until he finds out who killed Peter. The cool thing is that Peggy Carter is, I guess, somewhat the Nick Fury of this Earth. I thought that was good. She's got an eye patch and everything. I was like, she runs S.H.I.E.L.D. So there's some cool twist to this. But there are other players involved in this that maybe are pulling the strings that we don't know about. And that was really where it got really interesting for me. Very much indeed. Still good. Spider-Man 2099. number 3, Peter David. Oh my God, guys. Miguel comes face to face with the man that nearly killed his girlfriend along with his future child. And Miguel is just furious with this guy. It's taken all the Dr. Kronos, that was his name. It's taken all the will not to just fuck this guy up. And he's trying to get answers. He's trying to get, why did you do it? Things like it. He's trying to stay calm. But sometimes calm comes before the storm. And that storm comes very fast and very hard. And Miguel even says it. He's punching this Dr. Kronos so hard that he can hear Knuckles' bone breaking in his hand. That's how hard he's hitting him. But he finds out that Dr. Kronos is working for somebody higher up than him. And that's where it gets really interesting too. But then here comes the Peter David move that we all know and love and respect about Mr. David. He hits us with this big bomb of a cliffhanger, and I'm not going to spoil what that was. All I'm going to say is, Mr. David, you have my attention, sir. Spider-Man 2009, really good. And talking about another good start to a new series, The Ultimates, number 1. Al Ewing, Kenneth Rocafort does the artwork. As you can see here, did they get a good look? First of all, I cannot deny, I like this team. You got Black Panther, Blue Marvel, Spectrum, Monica Rambeau, America Chavez, the new Miss America, and Carol Danvers. You talk about a powerhouse team, yeah. And this team is pretty much put together to solve the ultimate problems before they really get out of hand, before they become an Earth threat. And those are the words from T'Challa himself. The Triskelion is still in this, and it actually is the new embassy, the Wakandan embassy in the United States, in New York. And their first mission for the impossible is to solve the impossible that is the big G himself, Galactus. Now, what I'm thinking is they're going to try to solve his insatiable hunger for the source of planets, so he can stop destroying worlds, eating worlds, being the devourer of worlds. A very good introductory. We get to see one thing that I loved, and I thought it was really cool, is seeing Blue Marvel and Carol together, and you get to see, they call Team Marvel when they're together, and they were fighting these robots that Galactus had sent out. And I love what Carol said, because basically Blue Marvel is a combination of, basically he is Superman and Reed Richards together. He's a super genius, but he's also a walking antimatter reactor. And Carol, I love that scene was Carol was like, okay, hit me. And he's like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, hit me. And I'll tell you when to stop. Like, don't stop until I tell you to. As you all know, Carol can absorb energy, and she's absorbing his energy, and she's like, I'll tell you when to stop. I can't get too much, but if I get it just about enough, I can. And she becomes binary. I was like, ooh, she became binary. I was hyped to see, because I love when Carol was binary, and it's always good to see her back. But like I said, this was a really good start, introductory issue. It brought all the players into the whole team. It gave you a straightforward, like, what was going to happen, what this team is all about, why they're doing this. And this is what I'm talking about, Mr. Human. This felt more like what you're used to. This felt more like, now I'm reading Al Ewing again. Um, but yeah, the Ultimates #1. This was good. Uncanny Avengers #2. Duggan does this, and Stegman is the artwork. Okay, this new evil inhuman threat called the Shredded Man, has pretty much just fucked over Boston. And the Unity Squad is trying to deal with this as best they can. But the way I'm starting to more look at the Shredded Man is like, yeah, he's like a environmental terrorist. Like, he's really trying to change the world back. You know, he's even admitted, like, yeah, I don't care if the humans die, you know, but it's just like, God damn, this guy's gone nuts. And what he does to Quicksilver in this, I was just like, okay, now this guy's trying to get, despite his name, this guy's starting to get my attention. Rogue is really having a hard time with her team. She's the field leader. And then there's something that happens at the end. You start to see that a certain somebody is going to make their way back to 2016, basically. That's what they say. I shouldn't ruin it, because even though it's kind of been ruined, but what the hell? Because it's already been ruined. If you don't want to listen, pause this vid now, or mute it, whatever. For those who don't care being spoiled, okay. It seems that Nathaniel Summers is coming back to the past to stop what's going on in the present, in that past. You all should know who I'm talking about. Gable. Not bad. One moment. Uno momento, guys. Apologize about that, guys. So that's all the Marvel. Let's go to all indie. So I have indie books from Titan Comics, IDW, Legendary Comics, Dark Horse Comics, Dynamite, and Zenoscope. And all the indie books will be in alphabetical order. I just felt like that. So let's kick it off with Titan Comics, and we're gonna kick it off with Assassin's Creed #2. Delco and McCreary still do the writing, and basically in this issue, the main antagonist, protagonist, sorry, in this, Christina Dela Cruz, is in the Animus, and she's learning about her ancestor, who is one of the most ruthless assassins of the Creed in the history. And this is going during Boston, Salem, during the 1692, 1642, during the time of the dawn of during the whole Salem witch trials. That's when this is going on. And pretty much, as you all know, if you anybody who played Assassin's Creed games, you know that person goes in the Animus, you get to see you can't really change your ancestors' past or anything like that. But the fact of the matter is, Christina's really having a hard time with watching how her ancestor acts. Like, she can't believe, my ancestor acted like this. He doesn't care. He's kind of a dick. Things like that. But it's more about trying to figure out how to stop the Templars in the present, as well as trying to find Eden as well. And she really starts to see her ancestors. His name was Roland. Yeah, I think that was the name. What's her ancestor's name again? Her ancestors. I was calling her Christina. I meant Charlotte. That's her name. She's learning about her ancestor Tom Stradair. That's his name. And he's on the quest of trying to find, the Eden. And we get to see on the mission, his first mission with his contact and things like that. And she's just like, you can just hear Charlotte as we were watching it. She's just like, help him. Like, instead of like he finds underneath a Templar base all these like people that are in cages, and he doesn't really care. Tom Strawden doesn't care, and you just see Charlotte like, come on, help him, and it gets really interesting. But they pick up something really interesting as well, with that their mission wasn't to find what was supposed to be found, but they found it in a different manner, and I thought that was really interesting as well. This is getting really good. We have 3 more issues to go, but yeah, I mean, it's like, how would you feel? You go into and you get to see your ancestor, and your ancestor kind of lets you down in a sense. You know what I'm saying? IDW's Back to the Future #2. I watched me bro Blue Goblin talk about the first issue. He didn't like it, and because of the fact that this is kind of false advertising. They said untold tales, of course, and alternate timelines. Like, we were getting to see alternate timelines of the future and things like that. This one felt a little bit more to that, but not so much. The first issue, once again, we're in the Old West, 1885, and Doc is with his sons Jules and Vern, and he's telling more untold tales that we never knew about. And that seems to be what's the case for the first issue. We always get untold tales of what went down. We get to find out that Doc, during the whole Cuban Missile Crisis, was approached by the scientists once again. He worked on the Manhattan Project. That was something I didn't want to spoil with the last time, and he's really starting to mess with time travel. But he realizes that his actions could cause a war, and we get to see that. Like, Marty comes with the DeLorean from the future, but the thing is, Marty is speaking Russian, and it was like, whoa, okay, what the heck? But that was interesting. So kind of we could see why Doc didn't live in his house that he lived in when Marty went back to 1955. What went down. We actually get to see Goldie Wilson for the first time, except that he's running for, what was he running for in this? I forgot what he was running for this. And then in the next issue, it was more about Marty trying to get a science project, and that was it. It wasn't that bad, but the first story was good, but I really hope that this is not going to be the trend, like untold tale, but then another tale is just, it's always just two untold tales. Like, I would love to see an untold tale and then maybe an alternate time. Like, what if there's an alternate timeline where George, what if George, even though he he tried to, when he was about to take the big swing and knock Biff out, what if Biff countered and knocked him out? And what would have happened then? Like, stuff like that. I want to see that. I want to read stuff like that. Like, or um, what if George became president or something like that? Just certain things. Like, I would love to see that. Like, what if there's a timeline where Marty did become that rock star that he wanted to become? And he didn't get into the car accident, which he didn't, but what we saw in Back to the Future 2, where he got into that car accident, messed up his hand, couldn't play the guitar. Well, what if he became a rock star? How would that feel? Things like that. I'm hoping we see more of that. I'm not saying this issue was bad, but I'm just saying I don't want it just to be saturated with just untold tales that we never got to see in the original trilogy. I want to see alternate timeline and stuff like that. Not all bad, but just some good stuff. Not saying anything's bad with your writing, Mr. Gale. Just give us some more. All right, move on to Legendary Comics. And this is Black Bag, #1. Chris Robinson does the writing, and J.B. Bastos does the artwork. Basically, what this is this woman here. She is a devoted wife, but her job, she's pretty much an assassin. And we get to see that. Like, we see her on a mission. Her husband has reservations at this fancy restaurant, and then we go to his wife, and she's eyeing down a target, but she doesn't want to take the shot because it's right in front of the target's child, and she's like, I don't want to scar this child for life. So she does it a different way, and a little bit more, humane in a sense. Texts the guy and says, you've been poisoned, blah 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 blah. You only have about 9 hours to live. Take that time and spend it with the rest of your family. It's just like, okay. And then we get to see her go to be with her husband. But then we get to see how she got into this world, which is really interesting. Like, even though she's always had like this special ability to be able to read people really easy, and I thought that was really interesting as well. But other than that, this was not bad. Chris Robinson does a good job of what he's given and what he can do. I mean, I read a lot of Chris Robinson work, but once again, this was very interesting. You look at it from that point of view, like, how are you a wife by but you're also an assassin, but she has a moral code, like she won't kill in front of children and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I can respect that, but and at first when I read it, I'm like, okay, why is she gonna kill this guy? What does this guy do? And we find out like he's he's selling secrets to terrorists and stuff. I'm like, oh God, it's like, but other than that, this is okay. Do I recommend it? I say give it a try. Let's move on to Dark Horse, and we move on to King Tiger #404. This is the last part of this miniseries, As the World Burns. Stanley Stradley and Doug Wheatley does the artwork. This was fun. Tiger is still dealing with his mother, his demonic side of his family, because he's half demon. And his girlfriend, or, you know, it's just like, she's just like, look, I'm not going to let you do this alone, or, you know, I'm not going to let you do this alone. And this, while I was reading this issue, I was just thinking about Huey Lewis. It's the power of love, because the power of love plays a big role in this issue, and how they defeat King Tiger is able to defeat his demonic mother. His mother is like this giant demonic worm, and I'm like, that's your mother, dude? Like, what the hell? Like, and his father is like, you gotta sacrifice yourself to her, and he's like, fuck that shit. But this was good. I enjoyed this miniseries very much. Do yourselves a favor, if you check it out for yourself. It's only a 4-part mini. It was fun. Nonetheless, it was fun. It had a little bit of how can I put it? I would say a combination of Iron Fist, Inuyasha, and a couple other stuff in there. But yeah, this was good. The Shadow, number 4. Cullen Bunn, still doing the writing. As you all know, Shadow knows. He knows what breaks in the heart. Yes, I love the Shadow. You guys should know that. He's one of my favorite pulp era heroes. I love him. And in this, we're still dealing with the Shadow is still trying to find who, you know, who's responsible for his mentor's death. You know, they're playing with kind of altering a little bit of history. Basically saying that Cullen Bunn goes on to do where basically he's written that the Shadow was, Harry Houdini was his mentor. And that's what this is all about. Still trying to figure out who may have killed him and things like that. And this ministry of magicians, I believe, killed Harry Houdini's wife in this to shut her up. And it's pretty much almost like we get to see the Shadow using his skills of his sleuthing skills to try to figure out who is responsible, and also coming into factor of another adversary that he's come across, and also try to figure out who is the ministry, why did they do what they did. And but this was good nonetheless. Shadow number 4. Good job, Mr. Bunn. And last but not least, we move on to Zenescope. And it is none other than Robin Hood, number 16, Pat Shant. I actually wrote to Mr. Shant on his Facebook account and told him, took a picture, told him, enjoyed it. Review will be up soon. The Cops. Basically, in this issue, guys, we find out that New York's finest, NYPD, is under the thumb of the Cabal, an organization that's been going on in this. And they've also have involved Detective Roga, I'm forgetting her name right now, who has always been like really hesitant about Robin and Marion in this. And she calls them and she needs their help. And Robin's like, are you playing with us? Blah, blah. And she's like, no, I need your help. And we get to see a cool trio dynamic in this, as the trio continues to try to find out what is going on, who is the Cabal, who are the members, why are they doing this. And it gets really interesting by the end of the issue. Mr. Shamp pulled a Peter David with a lot of it, in terms of like the group have become public enemy number one in the city, and they do get a little bit of a help from a friend, Lindsay Van Helsing, and which was really cool to see. But the basis of it is that yes, they are going to need help to finding the Cabal, stopping them, and clearing their names. But other than that, this was good. This was really good indeed. Okay, guys. Other than that, well, that is it. As always, I want to thank you guys for all watching. As always, like I said, I'll be putting the codes on my Tumblr account this time around. I want to thank everybody watching. As always, you know where you can follow me: Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook. I'm a triple threat. And as always, guys, this is Mount Vernon Kid. Peace. Love, stay tuned, keep real, guys. You guys take care.